Growing up playing a lot of FPS shooters, it has become one of my favorite video game genre, and most of them are obviously free to play games that cured my depression. So I've decided why not just rank all the free FPS games that I had scavenged from Steam and other clients for the past few weeks. I've added the so-called tier list for the purpose of this ranking. As this is the part 1, I have chosen all the positive reviewed FPS multiplayers from Steam and some other free titles outside Steam. I guess that's enough unnecessary shits you need to hear, so let's just start the ranking already. Fistful of Frag is actually a first-person multiplayer shooter mod of Half-Life 2. The name kinda speaks for the game. You get a fistful of gun to frag some players in the Wild West. Although there's not much servers in the game right now, I still managed to get a couple of games down and I quite enjoyed it. You choose a gun, perk and a skill, then basically just shoot around and chill. I realized accuracy is a major thing in this game and it took me some time to get used to it, but the game is quite fun, not gonna lie. I'm placing this on B tier. Valorant. Even though I play CSGO most of the time, it didn't take much time to cope up with the playstyle of Valorant, and if you are also a CSGO player, then all you have to do is to learn to use the abilities of the operators along with the shooting mechanic of CSGO. Map and the game knowledge is crucial and can become frustrating for some players. Nevertheless, the game has a very high player base and as a result you can get matches very fast. Valorant deserves a solid A tier. There's no denying this is just a very good game. I'm pretty sure nobody has ever heard of this game, but Pauseball is where you shoot a ball to score a goal against your opponent, but it just sucks. There's literally no one playing, so I had to play against a bot called Robert, and aiming is straight up garbage in this game. It feels like my aim is having a diarrhea or something. The only thing I probably would say does not suck is the main menu, but the game is just straight up trash. F tier for Pauseball. Warfork is a strange name for a game, and this game is like a mix of Quake and Unreal Tournament. The servers are mostly dead, but the gameplay is limitless. Having 300 ping in a server, I couldn't really try anything. Rocket jumping was out of the question for me, where other cracked players were destroying my ass, and by seeing their gameplay it felt like it's a really fun game. This game has intense movement and gunplay and needs a hell lot of practice. But from my perspective, I'm just gonna put this on D tier. Now personally, I'm a huge CSGO fan and this is basically my go-to online shooter that I play for fun or sometimes even grind some ranks too. Even though I'm stuck in Gold Nova, but I just love to play this game so much. If you are a new player, I would suggest you to hit headshots and learn the recoil patterns of this game because the recoils can be frustrating for new players. CSGO has probably aged like fine wine. With almost 1 million active players, most of the time you can play casuals, competitives or custom maps and modes flawlessly. The game puts new contents every now and then and provides regular updates. You also get free stuffs just for playing. CSGO is an S tier. Ring of Elysium is a dead battle royale game that a few people plays in 2021. First of all, this game doesn't feel good playing, it feels boring as hell and I was feeling like shooting a bunch of literal bots. They didn't feel like real players at all. I also don't like the spawning system of this game, like you choose a spot and then you are just spawned out of nowhere. I like the dynamic weather and being able to use a glider at any time, but the game just doesn't feel that appealing as a battle royale. At the end of a match I didn't understand what was going on, so I hopped on the helicopter and I didn't know what this guy was shooting at. Then the match ended and this loading screen popped up when my dad entered my room to ask if I was winning or not, and it was just a pretty weird experience for me. I played this game 2 years ago, didn't like it then, and I still don't like it at all. F tier. Ring of Elysium is trash. Cuisine Royale is another dead battle royale game with a very small player base. This game feels more like a joke than a video game in general. The spawning system is even worse than Ring of Elysium, as here you are spawned on a random place on the map. But I think it's not that bad because you can start playing very quickly. Shooting guns doesn't feel that pleasing and some guns covers almost half of your screen, which just honestly feels annoying. You also have foods as a consumable, like why not, the name is Cuisine Royale, but when you kill an enemy and see some food under some half-naked man's nutsack, then I guess you'll probably lose your appetite in real life too. Also, what is this souls mechanic? You kill and get souls and then you use it to become some beast. Like what? Is this game trying to be Dark Souls or something? I can't quite decide where to place this game. Sometimes it's weird, sometimes good, sometimes terrible. But I think Cuisine Royale at least deserves a D tier. If you have played Portal and felt like using a gun, then Splitgate Arena Warfare does a good job. It's basically a Portal game with guns. Even though there's not much active players in this game, I quite liked playing this. The pacing is also not very fast, so it feels more like a relaxing shooter than a hardcore one. Adding the portal mechanics was a brilliant idea, and you also can use a jetpack in this. Pretty cool concept and a whole game already. Placing this on B tier. Paladins is another game I used to play a lot and pretty much have more than 1000 hours of playtime. It's a hero shooter game where you choose a champion that have different sets of abilities, and it's also called a Overwatch knockoff, but the game itself is fairly different than Overwatch and more fast paced, I believe. Quite a good amount of players are active, and the devs are also adding new contents in every season. I probably had a love and hate relationship with this game. Sometimes I got so tired that I uninstalled this game, or it felt really boring sometimes. But still, I used to play this game so much back then on my toaster, and I kinda miss those days now. Anyways, Paladins, you deserve a solid A. Apex Legends. Honestly, I think this is the best battle royale game. Like, this shit slaps harder than any other battle royales out there. If you haven't tried this, then you are totally missing out. Whether you play alone or with friends, it's just so much fun either way. The learning curve can be harder depending on how fast your reaction and how good your aim is, but overall I would say that there's no chance you'll feel bored playing this. So much action and an amazing experience this game delivers. Apex is just a top-notch S-tier FPS or battle royale or whatever genre you put this in. Rebel Forces. First of all, this game feels like a mobile game on PC. The maps and the character models are low textured, and then shooting is also not a pleasant experience. It also has a weird jumping height which I quite don't understand, like, are you on the moon or something? I was very lucky to get a match in this because the servers are also dead. Pretty much I won't recommend anyone playing this. F tier. This game sucks. Despite having a fair amount of reviews, Block and Load seems totally dead right now. Waited 10 minutes and still I couldn't get a match in this, so I played the tutorial to see how this game actually is, and it felt really boring digging and building stuffs like an idiot, or maybe it felt like that because this was the tutorial. But this is probably a good building simulator that would be actually fun to play with people. I would place Block and Load on at least a C tier, but as it is totally dead, it goes to the F tier. Now, in my opinion, Hyperscape is an underwhelming FPS shooter that didn't get enough attention. I didn't really enjoy the BR mode as much as the deathmatch mode, but I think Ubisoft shouldn't have gone with a battle royale but just make a PvP shooter game. The visuals look solid and beautiful, but gameplay wise I didn't really enjoy the battle royale that much. There's also the mechanic of different ability pickups, which doesn't really feel like a good idea to me. Getting a match takes quite some time too. So basically a big company like Ubisoft's game failed too quickly. It can still be an enjoyable experience for some people, so I'm putting Hyperscape on the C tier. Krunker started as a browser FPS game, but now it's also on Steam. This game is really fast paced and you get a lot of classes to choose from and then just casually shoot each other. This game will run on any toaster I believe, and playing this isn't that bad. For the fast speed of this game, it feels a little hard to aim, but the hitboxes of the enemies are quite large. Not a bad game I would say. Krunker goes to the C tier. Battlegrounds 3 felt really weird to play, not gonna lie. It's a game of American versus British army fighting each others with muskets and bayonets. Shooting these guns are really hard, and it also takes so much time to reload that a lot of people just start using their swords and bayonets to kill their opponents. It doesn't feel good and it doesn't have that much player base either. Battleground 3, I'll put this on the E tier. Blockade is a boring block building game that feels like Minecraft with guns. First of all, it's just boring and meaningless. I don't know why these guys are trying so hard or trying to build blocks around to protect themselves, and there's also no objective or purpose to play this game. And it's even more horrendous that you can ADS in this game, which just feels like shit. It's just a tasteless, boring game that made me quit it soon. Blockade is an F tier. Now Blockpost on the other hand, this one seems like the better version of Blockade and is more polished mechanically and visually. The ADS is removed and it feels more comfortable shooting in this game, and this game feels more alive too. It doesn't feel boring like Blockade and it's a much better version of that. This guy just killed me with a shovel. Anyways, Blockpost is a B tier. It's fun. Brain Bread 2, more like Brain Dead 2, is a zombie versus human FPS game where you start with a human and kill zombies, but you can get infected by them and turn into a zombie yourself. Then you can start hunting the humans. There's not much servers online and the gameplay is somewhat okay. I like this concept of turning into a zombie by getting infected. You can also do this on purpose to become an imposter to your teammate. There's not much player base, so that's a downfall in this game, and there's not much content either. It's an okay game which can be at least placed into the C tier. Black Squad, this game is not bad, like it has some good game modes and weapons, but some mechanics feels a little awkward. Like you can only sprint when you have your knife out, and shooting your guns have some weird projectiles which doesn't feel authentic. Sometimes getting a match takes quite a long time too. Also, the headshot sound is abhorrently loud as fuck. It feels like someone's inserting a pencil in my ear when I headshot someone. But other than those, the game is quite okay to be placed on C tier. Chaos is a dead game with almost no players, but I would really like to get a chance to play this mode. I like the shooting in this game. The maps looks like it's made out of Unity asset flips, but I like the minimalism of this game. You also get all these breakable walls and objects, which I didn't really think was that good, but the main problem is there's literally no one playing. I'm gonna place Chaos on D tier. Game's good, but there's server. Deceit. If Among Us was an FPS game with some zombies, then it would be this one. You're spawned with some infected and non-infected, and then you just find out who the imposter is and vote him out. You get voice channels for both teams, like if you are infected, then you can talk with your infected partner or even with the others to make them believe you are not infected, and it can be really fun when there's like actual people speaking like human, you know. This game I think deserves a B tier. Destiny 2 combines the MMO and RPG mechanic and lets you play missions in a vast world. This game has so much content that can get you hooked for hours. Although mostly you do co-op in this, there's also a PvP option. The music, the gunplay, and the visuals are just beautiful. You'll have so much fun if you actually invest your time in this game. I also think this game is better if you play with friends because the co-op is just absolutely awesome. Destiny 2 is an A tier, straight up. Diabolical is an arena FPS shooter which can be found on Epic Games, and this game gives you the feel of Quake, but it looks quite cartoonish, and the player models are some egg-shaped eggs I guess, which looks weird, but the pacing and the gunplay is quite identical to Quake. But it doesn't necessarily feel exceptional or anything, and also there's not much players playing it, so I'm placing Diabolical on D tier. Dirty Bomb is an okay FPS shooter. It's not bad or anything too good. You have different characters who have different traits that you can use in battles, and not gonna lie, you can be quite sweaty in this game. I like the abilities of this game. For example, you can be a medic and heal others while bopping with your shotgun, or you can be a sniper who can see through smoke, and there's a lot more characters in the game that can be unlocked. I quite enjoyed it. It's nothing too intense and the gameplay sometimes become boring, but I am just gonna place this on C tier. Give it a try. Pirates, Vikings and Knights is another Half-Life 2 mod like Fistful of Frags, but it's not as good as Fistful of Frags. There's 3 teams. As a knight you get your knight shield with a sword, or you can be a Viking and use your bow, or you can also become a pirate and use guns. Each team just goes to other bases to steal chests and bring them back to their own base. Movements and attacking feels a little clunky, and I didn't quite enjoy this that much. Like if I give Fistful of Frags a 7 out of 10, then this one will get 4 out of 10. Placing this on E tier. Team Fortress 2 is still going strong. It was a great game and it's still fucking good. I don't actually know what else to say about this game. This is one of the OG game of Valve and it's still super fun to play and holding a massive player base. It's just so fucking good. With all the characters that you can master, there wasn't a single moment I felt bored playing this. This was also my first ever online shooter. Such an S tier game. I thought Ironside will go hand in hand with Black Squad, but no, this feels different. I played this one for some days and it was good. I liked the gameplay, the shooting, the customizations, and also the revive mechanics. There's a lot of game modes and quite some players playing this, so in my experience I got matches quickly enough. Ironside goes to B tier. Good shit. Paint Warfare is just a shit FPS game where your gun shoots paints and there's no one playing this. I don't understand why there's red barrels in the map, as shooting paints wouldn't blast them anyway. Also, the developer said he is making a remaster of this. I think he should focus more on fixing this to get some player base than making a remaster. This one goes to the F tier. Pixel Strike 3D is gotta be a B tier. This game was really good. It's a blocky style FPS shooter with a lot of game modes, including a BR2. It looks good and feels good shooting. There are some weapon skin which looks sick, and there's regular updates and a fair amount of content in this too. Also, as a blocky game, this game's visuals are just fine. It's a solid B tier. I wasn't a fan of MMO games, and PlanetSide 2 is an MMO FPS shooter, so I gave it a try for the sake of this video. It's quite good, I kinda enjoyed it. There's so much players battling each other in a location with so much things going on. This game can feel overwhelming, and I understand there's a big learning curve of this game, and I was just a new player. This game is not like any other FPS shooter, and also matchmaking is not like if you are low level then you'll get matches with low level too. It's not like that. Nevertheless, I feel I should put PlanetSide on B tier. It's a good game but needs a lot of time to get the hang of it. I am a fan of Call of Duty but not Battle Royales, and playing this game in my PC feels like I'm just torturing it. It has a really high requirement, but that's probably not the main problem. I didn't enjoy shooting in this game. It feels a little off to me. Also, I don't have any friends who plays Warzone, so I also don't really play this game like Apex. This game is still going strong though because there's a huge player base in this. Filling a 150 player server doesn't take too much time. It's not a bad game by any means. I'm just gonna place this on B tier. Quake Champions is an amazing arena FPS shooter. This game is hella fast. You need a very fast reaction time to actually dominate in this game, and if you're an OG arena shooter fan, then this game is just perfect for you. In Quake Champions, you get different characters that have different abilities, which makes the game even better. Quake Champions, I'm giving this an A tier. So much fun. Red Clips 2, a dead server with so much annoying stuffs on your screen, basically describes this game. You have to capture different points in this game, and shooting felt okay, nothing really good, but it just doesn't have any players. F tier game. Another dead and terrible looking game, Rifle Strike, feels just nasty. There's actually no point playing this game. I think playing Rebel Force is a better choice compared to this. F tier. Sector's Edge, a blocky FPS shooter with no people playing. This one kinda feels not that bad. Shooting is fun and building blocks like other good block games, this game has that. But it's a dead game that I think nobody will ever play anymore. Sector's Edge, I'm giving it an E tier. Totally accurate battlegrounds. Now this game is just hilarious and really good at the same time. There's a lot of goofy stuffs in this, and the physics in this game is just totally accurate. I'm also impressed how they created flowchart in the store page to convince you to play this game. The accuracy is pretty terrible, I would say, and when you die you basically go into a scuffed Warzone gulag where you become some third person Flappy Bird, and if you get hit you get some curses like slow reload or your aim gets nerfed or something like that. Also, sometimes I don't even realize what the hell is going on around me. This battle royale is just funny with a good player base. I'm giving it an 8 here. Toxic is another mix of Quake and Unreal Tournament, and it's literally dead. Nobody plays this. But this game feels good though. I got some bots in a server and I tested some shooting and moving around. It felt quite solid, and the visuals are also not too bad either. This one could be a really good game I think, but it's just totally dead again. I'm placing it on E tier. It could be a C though. I found two other games named Trenches Whip and Pond, but those two are also dead, so I didn't feel like stretching this video anymore. But that pretty much concludes the part 1 of this ranking, and I am planning to make a part 2 where I rank all the mixed reviewed free FPS shooters from Steam. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video and comment your opinion about this tier list, and I'll see you in the next one.